What is up, friends? Welcome back to another edition of The Drive. With me, as always, is my guy, Andy Lack, at ADP Lack Sports on Twitter. We're going to break down another week of PGA Tour action, the Valero Texas Open. But, Andy, I got it done last week. Came on here, spoke proudly of Minwoo Lee. People were not too happy when I said I thought he was the third best player in the field. I'm not sure whether I meant that like in totality or on that specific golf course, but either way, he came through. Was sweaty at the end, but nabbed my fourth pre-tournament outright winner of the season. So I'm feeling good with the Masters just a week away. The Valero board not exactly calling to me at the moment, though.
Well, it doesn't have to call to you, man. Congratulations, my friend. I did not even begin to realize how popular he was until I saw our Discord going off. And I, of course, bet like all of the bombers with the exact same skill set that were Minwoo, a la your Taylor Pendrith and your Wyndham Clarks and your Keith Mitchells and your things of those sorts. But congratulations to you, my friend. I'm sure the bank account is flush heading into our favorite time of year. Hopefully, we can snag one more before Master season. I've fired on a couple bets. I've made a
Yeah, I
few.
mean, no, I mean, obviously got a couple in there. And yeah, I mean, geez, Minwoo was a very popular play. It seemed like through the golf gambling community. So congrats to everybody. Accounts are flush as we're here in Masters season, but no rest. We'll start at the top though, Andy. Ludwig Aberg, Tommy Fleetwood, Corey Connors. They all appear to be in a class of themselves. I guess we could throw Hideki and Patrick Cantley into this one. Normally, the weeks before a major, there's opportunities to be had, opportunities down the board, an opportunity that probably won't, not necessarily that I believe in it, but I do believe there will not be opportunities next week. I'm one of those people that believe like 12 guys can win next week, and I don't think that's a bold.
Less.
Yeah, maybe seven or eight. Like,
Yeah.
sure. Like, if we
Maybe
really want
two.
to break it down. So maybe we'll have a lot more fun with props or something next week because the outright market, I don't know that there's gonna be much there, but hey, we'll let it all reset in a week's time. I'll just get right into it. I haven't made the bet yet. I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna bet Ludwig Aberg. The
Okay.
the board is not called to me. I've wanted it to call to me, but the Texas Tech kid, he's played here. I don't want to call him a kid, but played here a couple times in college. He struck the ball beautifully around the yard last year at Valero. Struggled with some of the chipping. That could be an issue, but he misses the green so seldomly that I figure if he's going to win, that's not an issue. We will be hitting those greens. As I said, there's probably opportunity on the betting board. I feel silly saying I think I'm going to the top, but Andy, I believe I'm going to the top.
Yeah. I can't sit here and disagree with you from a course fit standpoint. I mean, Ludwig finished 14th last year. He gained strokes in both ball striking categories. This is a pretty difficult golf course from tee to green. It's going to be pretty windy. They are getting some rain, but I would expect this golf course to play a lot harder than what we saw last week in Houston. It certainly has more narrow fairways. That's generally a good thing for Ludwig. The missed fairway penalty is going to be fairly low as well, given the overseed, but this is a true second shot golf course. And Ludwig has a lot of approach upside still, despite the recent form with his irons, and I still believe he can gain a significant advantage here off the tee. I haven't made a move at the top of the board, Geoff. I
Where's the shortest you've come in?
40.
Me too. Well, I got
Oh,
another bet. I got three bets. I could be done because if I hit
well,
Ludwig, I'm done. But
yeah.
I as well have hit something at 40 to 1, Andy. So I'll give you the honors. Start us off here, friend.
Are we both team Dan Berger this week?
We are both team Dan Berger this week. It feels like it could be
Just the
popular, but
bear shit in the
Minwoo,
woods. Yeah.
Minwoo was popular. Dan Berger, between the driving accuracy, the approach play, the putting, he checks every box I sort of want this week. The game has just been rounding into such form. 20th at the Players, 15 Arnold Palmer, 25th at the Cognizant, 12th at Genesis, second at Waste Management. That's five straight top 25s. So some just real strong play by Berger that goes all the way back to almost the start of football season where he really had to battle. I woke up thinking he'd be less popular than he was in Florida, but nah, we're all seeing the same thing. And if there's opportunity in the middle of this odds board this week, I expect it to be Daniel Berger. Andy, you give me your sell and some of your other picks in this range.
I mean, I've just been on him pretty consistently this year. I love the way that he's playing. He's finished top 25 in six of his eight events this year. He's a very accurate driver of the ball. I mean, he's played great in Texas in the past. He's obviously won the Colonial. I don't love the fact that he hasn't played well at this golf course in the past. It's one of the higher course history correlations on the PGA Tour, but I think the comfortability in Texas and the overwhelming, overarching golf course fit here. I mean, he's played so well in Phoenix. That's another golf course that I was on Berger at earlier this season at a fairly big number that I think is one of the better comp courses that you can look at this week in terms of the required skill set. So I have no reason to hop off. He's starting to putt better, and I think he's more than a strong enough iron player to compete here. So I'm at Berger 40. I've made two other bets, and there's one other I'm really circling around.
Well, my other one is at 100 to 1. So
Okay.
I give you the floor here, Andy, to share with you what you've put out between what let's say between 40 and 80, I assume we're
Okay.
talking
I
here.
bet I bet Bud Colley 55 to 1.
You wrote that a couple weeks ago. You were playing the form. Good
I
to see.
can't stop with Bud, man. I've got to ride till the wheels fall off. My numbers just absolutely love the Budster. So I'm gonna keep riding
And
Bud
you had
Colley.
mentioned, Andy, after the players win, that a lot of times a player in that situation has a bit of a letdown, but you were very confident we
No.
wouldn't see it. We didn't. He played great at
Yeah.
Valspar.
Held the lead for a while on Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're yeah, he was right in it. I was thinking of you watching that as Victor, well, before Victor pulled away, I guess I should
Big
say.
move. Yeah.
And yeah, you are not jumping off. So Andy sticking with Bud Cauley here. It's hard to argue any part of that game. And where's the trifecta pick coming from?
I bet Rico Hoey at 65 to 1.
This is the
I've
okay.
got problems with this guy, Geoff.
No, well, before you give the sell, I'm just gonna put it out there that I love him. Haven't bet it. Don't think I'm gonna bet it. When I saw the odds board this week and saw the books are
They're
now
scared
asking,
of him.
yeah, the books are now making us take him at 50, 55,
Yeah.
60 instead
I
of the
got a
100.
65.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but right now, I mean, the consensus out there is going to be 50, mid 50. That's the price you got to pay. This is the guy. Every week I like to be like, who do the books not want me to bet this week? I think it's Rico Hoy. So
Yeah.
you give the more, the harder sell, but from like the odds board perspective, it did pop.
Yeah. He's going to be adored by the sharp community again, at least the sharp bettors that I speak to. I mean, he's starting to putt well. I think that's the key. I think that that's the key reason for optimism, at least from an outright. I believe that he has some of the highest ball striking upside in this field. I mean, this is the type of guy that could go out and lead the field in strokes gained off the tee or strokes gained approach any day of the week. I think the fact that he's starting to gain strokes a little bit more consistently with the short game and the putter is why I'm so bullish on his ability to actually win the tournament. He finished 14th at this event here last year, gaining significantly in both ball striking categories and actually even putting well here too. So I'm a huge fan of Rico H this week. And that's the card as of now. Burger, Bud, Rico. So I've got a lot of room.
You got a lot of room. And before I get to someone who I've bet at 100 to 1, I'll ask Andy for a long shot as well. This was my problem, Andy. There are so many attractive options that I thought about betting. I don't know how attractive they are, but from between a Ben Griffin around a 60, a Lee Hodges around a 70, Ryan Gerard, I'm probably forgetting someone else who I swam around already today. Like I thought about, I'm just going to flood the zone with all of these guys in this range. But as we sit here starting the record, as I mentioned off the top, I just don't really want to bet on any of them and think I'm just gonna put four bodies into one and smash Luddy at the top. But so without you haven't bet him yet, but is there anyone sort of in front of 100 here who you are circling like a shark at the moment?
I like Siwoo a lot. I wish that it was a 50. I mean, he hasn't sniffed.
Needs to win to get into the Masters.
Yeah. I'm thinking heavily about Siwoo. My
Yeah.
numbers really like him this week. I don't mind Spieth.
Okay.
Not usually a Spieth guy, but
Uh, I'd
I
rather
do
bet some guys around him at
yeah,
like
fair
almost
enough.
the
I
same
do like
price.
him in
But
this
yeah,
spot.
that'll be a fun story for sure.
Um, I think he's probably the one that has the ability to move his odds the most this week based
Yes.
on his performance.
So, as I'd like to just give a disclaimer, Andy, I think right now is the worst time to bet the Masters. Now, sure, someone like Spieth or maybe at Cantley, there's a handful of players in this field who can look great this week and their odds can shrink. I'd say it's about three or four guys. Other than that, this is like the books know. You are like an addict needing it bad if you want to bet the Masters. Now, I think 97% of the field's numbers will be better on a reset that happens closer to the weekend next week, what have you. That being said, I don't know what better numbers are going to do for us when, as we both kind of agree, it's only 7 or 8 guys might be able to win this thing next week.
Yeah.
So just, let the board reset unless you're really in love with how someone is playing this week. That would be my advice to you, friends. But Andy, I'm gonna I'll ask you for 100 to 1 or just a suggestion. Find us a winner, 100 or more. I'm gonna go first. I am. It's this game. He can miss the cut. It's fully in play, but at 100, I am in. Tom Hoagie,
Okay. I
pretty
like that.
erratic player. And listen, if a guy plays horrible at the Players, I can just like ignore it, like it didn't exist. It's such a volatile golf course. I can make an excuse as to why it doesn't matter if a guy has just been playing well. But if a guy played great at the Players, I can also use it to just make my point that I want to bet him. Third at the Players, gain over 9 strokes with approach, nearly 10 strokes on approach. The putter is erratic, but we've seen it spike before. The flusher, that second shot course, you mentioned that. It's led me to Tom Hoagie, 100 to 1 over at Bet Rivers. It is a bet I've made. So Hoagie, Burger, it's going to be small. And I think I'm just smashing Ludwig at the top. That's it for me, Andy. You give me 100 to 1 suggestion.
Yeah, I mean the guys that I was swimming around are Victor Perez and Matty Schmidt, two
Victor,
guys that I was on last week to varying degrees of success that I'll probably dip my toes into this week again, at least in DFS. So particularly Schmidt, I really like Matty Schmidt on this golf course. I really do believe that he's on the precipice of something potentially special, at least for the odds that they're providing on him. So
what's the
Schmidt,
number you're seeing on Schmid?
125.
I've seen Perez as like high as 110, as low as
Yeah,
80, because I've been circling around him today
yeah.
as well. So it's one
He
I'm
was great
familiar.
for us last week. Cashed a big top 20 for me last week.
Yeah, and play, sort of fell off as the tournament went on, but he did what we thought he could do. Andy, I'll give you the close here. Like, just we're a week away from it being Masters week, so just yeah, leave us with a Masters thought or something maybe we should look for, or a player that you might like, someone in this field that if they see life, you might think could very much be in play. Take it anywhere you want, friend.
I mean, I'm really rooting for Cantlay this week because I have a 40 to 1 on Cantlay that I bet in December. And I actually really like the way that Cantlay's playing. I was on him at the Players.
Yeah.
I think he played really well at the Players. He's starting to hit his irons a lot better. He's gained on approach, over 3 strokes on approach in 3 of his last 4 starts. He's starting to hit his irons a lot better. My issue with Cantlay is he hasn't hit a significant golf shot in contention since Pinehurst. And I need him to sniff it a little bit more.
And there have been so many moments this
I want
year.
to see him hit a shot of consequence on the weekend this week. So I know people say, okay, it doesn't matter how you play at the Valero. They're going to be working on things, get some competitive reps.
Disagree.
I think it depends on the player. Okay. Like I understand Colin Morikawa played the Valero last year. He was terrible at the Valero and then ended up contending at the Masters. I get it, but I think for certain guys that haven't been contending a bunch, haven't hit a lot of high leverage shots of consequence, I think they're there for a reason. And I want to see Cantlay. I want to see something positive from Cantlay this week. And I'm not saying that he needs to be there on Sunday afternoon with 9 holes to play, but I'd like him to sniff something. Um,
Yeah.
and I think it's a mistake that Colin's not here. I do. I think there's more overwhelming evidence that you shouldn't be taking a month off before these majors. So I'm sure he has his reasons.
Meghan Markle Morikawa is just ducking us.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and doubt his team or anything, but personally, like there's a good amount of evidence that you should be playing the week before the Masters or at least 2 weeks before the
I
Masters.
love it.
Very
I love
least.
those thoughts. To the Cantley point, I feel like many times this year, as we've discussed, we were on the precipice of important shots, but he just like faded before we actually got to that moment. I actually do agree with you in that he's playing better than the perception around him is. 12th at the
Agreed.
Players, 5th at the Genesis. Like you hear people talk about him, you think he's like finishing T40 or something every week.
Yeah.
So, I'm not confident that a player is going to end like a 3-year winning drought at the Masters. For the odds they're currently offering on Cantley, I like him more than some of the other higher end players who have been on droughts. And I also agree, guys like Cantley, guys like Fleetwood, they got to just win. Like
Yeah.
the value of playing great and winning, as we've seen in recent years, is that form just rolls over into the big events when you're able to take care of business. Can't wait to talk major season starting next week with you, Andy. It's one of the great times of the whole sporting calendar with the Masters. Get all that information over at Odds Checker. Not all odds are created equal, and if you're not comparing, you could be leaving money on the table. Odds Checker is your one-stop shop for odds comparison, data-driven analysis across every sport. They do the research so you can be smarter and win bigger. Visit oddschecker.com today and get in on it. I say this, I use Odds Checker all year round. Like it's September, it's football season. I'm looking at Masters odds on Odds Checker. Not even making bets, just always being aware of the markets. And Odds Checker is a great help for me in doing that. Can't wait to talk to you more next week, Andy. We'll be breaking down the Masters. Hopefully, it's a competitive one. I don't think we've had one in a few years. For Andy, I'm Geoff. Let's back a winner this week. We're out.